So The Flash. Let's talk about The Flash. Oh my god, this movie. This movie, man. I enjoyed it. I did enjoy The Flash, but it was the sort of final nail in the coffin of the Snyderverse for me. I'm not a fan of this tone and where it was originally going. So if this film came out and it's still going to be the DCEU with Michael Keaton as the new Batman and everything, and I don't know, it just didn't sit right with me, and it's not really a knock out of the park. You know, it's not really knocking Marvel out of the way still. 55 million US opening last weekend. There's Andy Muschietti and the Ezra Miller. As you know, Andy Muschietti is supposedly directing Batman the Brave and the Bold. Obviously, just from like Lucasfilm sort of standards that we've seen before in Star Wars projects, directors who don't do a good job on their first movie in that sort of category, in that universe, don't really make it out the other end. I think though maybe Andy has a good pitch for Brave and the Bold. I'm a bit worried about the tone of the film, with his directing style and what he did with The Flash. So we'll see. There's not really a good explanation why The Flash is doing bad. You got Michael Keaton as Batman, you got a Supergirl, you have The Flash. There are people who are fans of The Flash. You got Michael Shannon as Zod. It's a big DC cluster fuck, which is, I think, what a lot of people wanted, is a big DC cluster multiverse fuck. And I kind of wanted that, and to be honest, I came out of the film and just went, yeah, it was alright. And that was it. I was really excited for this film. I mean, I don't know if you could see, but I've got Michael Keaton Batman merch all over here. I've still got more coming. I've got an action figure of him back here. I've got all the Batmans, look, over here. And I've got even more. Like, I've got Batmobile coming and Batwing. I was so excited. Look, the stickers on there. I was so excited. But yeah, I was just like, that was a movie. So I was kind of gutted with The Flash. The problem I'm having, and what's really annoying me, is all these Snyder fans saying, ha, see, the public are bored of the DC brand. This is why Snyder should have been taking the reins. This is why, thank you to the GM as God, this is why we should capitalize on using the DC IP with Netflix. Yes. Suicide Squad, the Ayer cut, the Schumacher cut, Jenkins cut. Is that Jenkins cut of Wonder Woman? Zack Snyder's Justice League Part 1, Constantine 2, Ben Affleck's The Batman, Henry Cavill, Man of Tomorrow, 1854 Wonder Woman, Justice League Part 1, Part 3, Part 2, Part 3, David Ayer's Gotham City, Cyborg, a character no one gives a shit about, Atom, Flash, Flashpoint, and literally this person's posted. I just love that. Yeah, the Snyder... I tell you what, the Flash film was a fantastic closure to the Snyderverse, if you like. It was a tribute, definitely. I think what didn't work for me was having Keaton fighting off General Zod's people. The tones didn't quite match. But I think this universe is just not the way forward. And the Snyder cult, like the hardcore ones, are just a little bit insane. There was this great graph from Culture Crave, which is finally back. As you can see, Batman v Superman was the biggest domestic box office opening weekend at 166 million, which is not a surprise. You put Batman and Superman in the title, and you also advertise Wonder Woman going in the film, and that's going to happen. I'm very surprised that Man of Steel is third. Suicide Squad I'm less surprised about, because a lot of people were excited for that, because it was like the first sort of major villain film and everything, even though it wasn't brilliant. Wonder Woman 4th place, can understand that. I think a lot of the talk helped to that. Justice League, the original, I remember when that came out and no one was going to watch that, because, you know, people went to see Batman v Superman but no one cared. They were just like, I came out of that film like, what was that? Man of Steel was good until the ending. Then BVS was meh. I hated that what he did with Batman, and killing Superman. The second film was just why. I completely agree. I was very shocked that he did the death of Superman in Henry Cavill's second Superman film. I was watching The Big Thing with Christian Harloff and Roxy Stryer. I never used to like Christian, but to be honest, he's grown on me recently. And they were talking about how confusing the DC is now. So I'll just play this back.
It's so stupid and confusing, but like that was their fix. It's like saying, okay, well, so basically, if the movie bombs and it eats a pile of shit, and they go, we're done with this. It's an Elseworlds movie. If it crushes and it continues, like, well, no, that's part of our DCU now.
I don't know. I think that, okay, here's what I want versus here's what I think that they're doing. Unfortunately, in my dream of dream worlds, at this point, we completely cut every single person and we move forward with all new people.
Yeah, that's what they should have done in the first place.
Because that's
what they should be doing. It's just obvious.
If you're going to do a reboot and you're going to start fresh, then start fresh.
Right.
Take your second. You're 100% right. It is playing favorites. And I understand why. He loves the show. He loves doing it. It's another gig for his wife to work. And she's good, by the way. I don't think it's just people keep giving her shit because, it's James Gunn's wife. She's in everything. She's a very good actress.
She's the least of our worries.
Yeah, 100%. But I just think that they should, I was saying this from the get-go. If you're going to get rid of Cavill and you're going to just say, look, I couldn't agree with you more. This is it. We're starting fresh. We're getting a new Superman. We're getting new Batman.
It feels wrong to keep Momoa and not Cavill. That feels weird to me.
I agree. Yeah.
But that seems like what they're doing.
But they're trying to explain it in a different way. And it's like, and look, there could be a to James Gunn, and I don't necessarily agree with this, but I could see where he was like, well, to me, I like this kind of cool Aquaman, and I think that fits into what we want to do. But the Superman that Zack Snyder.
I'm bored of Christian Harloff. I kind of agree with Roxy in that video. I think they just need to hard reboot. I don't know how they're going to sell Aquaman 2 and even the upcoming Blue Beetle, because James Gunn has said, it's the first character in the DC universe, but it's not the first film in the DC universe. So it's going to be hard to get, general audiences and even DC fans and people who like some of these characters in this universe to get to the cinema when Superman Legacy comes out. I think a hard reboot is needed, and it needs to be clearer, because again, Gunn promised that we were gonna, this film, The Flash, was going to hard reset everything, and it didn't. It just brought in, spoilers, George Clooney at the end of The Flash and confused the fuck out of loads of general audiences. So I think the main reason The Flash just didn't work is because not many people were interested, and that's okay. To be honest, if Batman was not in this film, I would not have seen this film in the cinema. So I don't know, it's a hard one, but I really do wish all the best to Muschietti if he is still doing Batman, The Brave and the Bold, and to James Gunn at DC, because he's got his work cut out for him now. This Superman film that's coming up has to be good. I think a hard reboot is needed, and it needs to be clearer, because again, Gunn promised that we were gonna, this film, The Flash, was going to hard reset everything, and it didn't. It just brought in, spoilers, George Clooney at the end of The Flash and confused the fuck out of loads of general audiences. The main reason The Flash just didn't work is because not many people were interested, and that's okay. To be honest, if Batman was not in this film, I would not have seen this film in the cinema. So I don't know, it's a hard one, but I really do wish all the best to Muschietti if he is still doing Batman, The Brave and the Bold, and to James Gunn at DC, because he's got his work cut out for him now. This Superman film that's coming up has to be good.